Then move to Schneider Electric, Mr. Stefan. As you are a leader in the energy management, technology, and clean energy, how would you see the business trend in year 2022 next year?
Well, thank you. And I think what is important is to take one step back and as we enter in the post-pandemic phase, we at Schneider Electric, we see three fundamental trends which are definitely accelerating again as we are in this post-pandemic phase. The first one is definitely on climate change, and especially as we are at the end of the COP26, we all understand the urgency to act on climate, and of course the ambition to decrease by 50% the emissions of CO2 by 2030. So definitely this is the first mega trend we see in 2022. The second mega trend is definitely on electrification. And I think that more and more we are moving from fossil energy to more electrical energy. The demand for electricity is booming with the acceleration of renewable, more solar, more wind, with the acceleration of electrical vehicle as well. So definitely this is a good news as especially electricity is the most decarbonized energy available today. And the third mega trend, which is accelerating as well as we enter in progressively in 2022, and this resonates, of course, with what Khun Sharad just mentioned, is about digitization. Definitely in everything we do in our personal life, in our professional life, and I think today is a good example. We are interacting remotely and digitally. Everything we do is becoming digital, and the good news as well is that digital is bringing more artificial intelligence, more analytics, which means that at the end of the day, more efficiency. And the good news is that Schneider Electric, we are positioned at the crossroads of those three mega trends around more sustainability, more electrification, and more digital. And our mission at Schneider Electric is to provide digital solutions to our customers for more efficiency and more sustainability. This means connected products, software, analytics, services, again, to contribute to the decarbonization of our customers. And I think to make a concrete link with what is happening right now in Thailand and how we see the trend in 2022, Schneider Electric, we are operating in 4 end markets. The first end market where we are operating is infrastructure. And we see that 2022 will be extremely dynamic on infrastructure, especially on transportation, with public investments under the umbrella of Eastern Economic Corridor. So everything which is around MRT, seaport, airports is extremely dynamic, together with, of course, the digitization of the electrical grid. So first, let's say, dynamic segment, I would say, for Thailand in 2022 is infrastructure. The second segment where we see big opportunities is definitely on industry. And of course, industry supported by the rebound of export. We have seen a significant rebound of export, Thai export activities in 2021. So this is a good sign. And of course, supported as well by the, let's say, the dynamic foreign direct investment. We have seen that in H1 this year, the request for foreign direct investment has been tripled, which means that we expect those projects to be realized in 2022, 2023, especially around the new S-curve activities, such as electronics, such as electrical vehicle, food and beverage, biotech, etc. The third segment we see very dynamic as well is data center. And we expect a big boom on data center in the years to come in Thailand, of course, supported by the digital demand of Thailand as a country. I would say Thailand is definitely a digital nation. But of course, thanks to the unique geographical position of Thailand in Southeast Asia, thanks to the robustness of the infrastructure, and this means that we expect web giants, global web giants, to invest next year in Thailand to build again hyperscale data center. And the fourth, I would say, a segment where we see some potential, maybe to a lower extent compared to the three first I was mentioning, is on building, and especially commercial and offices building, which is still quite resilient, especially with all those emblematic projects we all know in Bangkok, especially. Yeah.
Okay, so green economy, green energy, it is. So I have heard that you have some video presentation that would like to show the audience. Would you like to show it now, Mr. Stefan?
Yes, of course, and I think it's going to be a perfect illustration, especially on what I was mentioning on the mega trends which are accelerating after this post-pandemic phase on electrification, digital, and sustainability. Yes.
So can we present it now?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, ทีมงานโชว์วิดีโอเลยครับ
We have been living in an age of fire. Since harnessing its power, it has fueled our evolution, but it came at a cost. It's time to decarbonize. It's time to evolve to a new electric world. It's time for a change of mentality. Let's look at electricity through a digital lens and let them bring out the best in each other. When electric meets digital, it gives us new ways of thinking about it, new ways of distributing it, new ways of saving it. Energy becomes visible, connected, smarter, and more controlled. It becomes Electricity 4.0. Electricity 4.0 works for you and with you. It delivers more and wastes less. It helps companies and individuals operate more efficiently, more successfully. It helps our planet become more resilient. A new, all-electric, all-digital world. The future is simply electricity for zero. Zero waste, zero emissions, zero carbon. Electricity 4.0.
Nice presentation. I like the sustainabilities and the more efficiency that come with zero carbon. Could you please explain to me that what are the key challenges of Schneider Electric currently? Because you have explained it all, but what are the new challenges next year?
Well, as I was mentioning, for us, the key challenges, and the key direction is really to go through this transformation around the electrification, digitization, and decarbonization of the world. And I think, especially on the sustainability topic, I would like to mention to all of you, if you are not aware, that Schneider Electric has been awarded at the beginning of this year as the most sustainable company in the world by Corporate Knights. So this is definitely a fantastic news and a fantastic recognition from all the, let's say, the work we have done since more than 10 years in pioneering the sustainability topics. It's also a big responsibility for us to lead by example and to continue to be a role model. And that's why, by the way, we have announced our 6 new long-term commitments around sustainability, and we have also announced our carbon pledge, which is to be carbon neutral in our Schneider Electric operations by 2025, and to be carbon neutral on our entire value chain by 2040. So this is a very ambitious commitment, and this means to be even more concrete, and that our plan is to generate more than 80% of our revenues with green solutions. Okay, and this means as well saving more than 800 million tons of CO2 for our customers. So this is really our contribution. And as you understand, we are applying this to our own operations, and our ambition at Schneider Electric is to be the trusted advisor of our customers on their digital and sustainable transformation. Because of course, what we have learned, what we have developed, what we have, let's say, implemented on the 200 factories, more than 200 factories we are having in the world, is a big benefit and a big value we want to share with our entire value chain, our customers and our partners. And to be back to your question, which is around the challenges we are facing, I think it's important to understand that we have been able in the past months, in the past years, to implement those sustainable and digital solutions for our customers, big customers in Thailand. Okay, just to give you an example, very emblematic, we have recently deployed what we call a unified operations center for the biggest industry estate developer in Thailand. So, you know, industry estate developers are investing, developing, operating, maintaining industrial zones across the territory. And what we have done, we have interconnected 12 of their industrial zones, connecting data around energy, around water treatment, around IT. And we are sending all those data to the headquarters in Bangkok. and the operator is able to see on a big screen in what we call the control command center to see all the parameters, again, around energy, water, and IT infrastructure, on their people as well, to better optimize, to generate energy savings, to reduce the maintenance costs, to manage the people on site, and of course, to answer potential alerts which are happening on their site. So this is a very concrete example on what we have done recently in Thailand. And the challenge we are having right now at Schneider Electric is to scale up. Okay, we have had good opportunities, good wins with major corporations in Thailand, and our ambition is to reach more the mass market, the business community, all the small and medium enterprise, where we believe, of course, that there is a big opportunity. And so the challenge is really to continue to evangelize the market, to benefit from those kind of panel discussion, to really make everyone aware that the solutions are existing, the solutions are generating very good payback, and that it is available now, and that it doesn't require significant and major investment. So this is really the challenge. Again, spreading, let's say, the fact that those solutions are existing and are available on the market and touching all the entire business ecosystem in Thailand.
It's very interesting, fascinating, and challenging to keep the commitment as well. So the key is the implementations we will see. As well as Schneider Electric, what are the key successes of Schneider Electric among competitive business, as well as challenges of digitalization, climate change, and all the epidemic that will stay on for quite a long time from now?
Well, thank you for the question. And I think that this last 2 years have been a great learning for all of us. And I think at Schneider Electric, I mean, with all the humility required, I would say, I think we are more stronger after the pandemic than before the pandemic. And for that, we have a couple of key success factors which have contributed to this. And I think one of the first key success factors is definitely around the way we operate and our organization. At Schneider Electric, we used to say that we are the most local of the global companies. Which means that, yes, we are a global company, but all our activities across the world, we are operating in more than 120 countries, are not decided and managed from one headquarters in one location. Now we have a decentralized organization. We are organized around what we call regional hubs, one in North America, another one in Europe, another one in Asia for sure, Pacific, India, China. And which is giving us a lot of proximity to our customers. And of course, in all the geographies where we are operating, in all the countries where we are operating, we have 99% of our teams who are local people, able to really understand the local needs of the local customers. And I think this is really an important key success factor, especially as we were navigating through this pandemic. You know, when you have local people, local organizations able to engage with local customers, local authorities, able to develop very specific products and solutions and software for specific needs in a geography, it makes a big difference. And then, of course, completely linked to this, I think one of the key success factors for us at Schneider Electric is around our people values and our company values around trust, empowerment, entrepreneurship. We give a lot of autonomy to our people, which means that, again, during the pandemic, we have been able to demonstrate a very good level of flexibility, agility, and especially speed of reaction. Then I think what is very important to understand is that during this past 2 years, I would say during the pandemic, we have been as well accelerating our strategy on digital software and services. You know, just to give you one number, in the past 12 months, we have acquired 6 software companies, which means that we have invested a couple of billion euros to enrich our value proposal around software, analytics, and services. And we have done this during the pandemic, just to give you let's say the importance and the way we have differentiated ourselves versus other players on the market who are more on a wait and see mode. And this again, because we really believe that those mega trends around digitization, sustainability, and electrification are accelerating right now. So this means that today we are really able to provide digital solutions to our customers. Either it is connected products, software, analytics, and services, and this on the entire life cycle of our customers, which means that from a design and build phase to an operate and maintain phase. And one last point I wanted to mention to you as well around, let's say, those key success factors is that we don't only focus and provide our software analytics and services for the new investments, what we call the greenfield activities, what we call the existing factories or buildings. Our strategy at Schneider Electric is to use open, interoperable, and agnostic solutions, which means that we are able as well to address the potential on existing factories, existing buildings, existing data center, because our software and our solutions can be plugged on top of hardware solutions, for example, which are not necessarily from Schneider Electric. And this gives us a fantastic opportunity, a blue ocean, as we say, to address the untapped opportunities of the existing installations in Thailand, especially. So this is really the way we have been able to differentiate ourselves, especially navigating through the pandemic phase. Yeah.
Very interesting. So among the epidemic, while other businesses are closing down their businesses, you are expanding more and more and hiring more employees. That's very admirable. Next is the last questions of you two. I'll start with you first, Mr. Stefan. That is involved with Thailand, especially. So what is the business plan or strategy of Schneider Electric and key focus for 2022 that will help Thailand to compete with other countries next year?
Well, yes. Thanks for the question, and I think that our business plan for 2022, our ambition is very simple, is very clear. Our ambition is to position ourselves as the trusted advisor for our customer to operate and to deploy their digital and sustainable transformations. Again, as I was mentioning, the solutions are here. We have a complete portfolio of connected products, software, analytics solutions, which are very relevant for the different markets where we operate. Either it is industry automation, either it is energy management, infrastructure, transportation, data center, etc. So I think the business plan, again, is to become the trusted partner, the trusted advisor of our customers, and again, to make sure that all the business community, starting from the top Thai corporations down to the more medium-sized enterprise, I would say, what we call the small and medium enterprise, they realize the potential they have. And I think that this is a fantastic, meaningful purpose we are having at Schneider Electric, which is to contribute to the energy savings of our customers, to contribute to the decarbonization of our customers, to make sure that they reduce their maintenance costs, to make sure that they increase the life cycle of their assets, etc. So this is exactly the business plan we are having for 2022. And this is, of course, a big potential for us. This market is growing and is growing much more faster than the rest of the, let's say, the activities in Thailand. And if I just connect with what I was hearing before from the previous session with the four panelists you were having, the economic experts, they were saying that, yes, Thailand has to reinvent itself. Thailand has to diversify the economy. Thailand has to diversify from tourism and address new untapped opportunities. So I really believe that everything which is around digitization, which is around sustainability, can make a big difference for Thailand as a country, especially as Thailand is, again, very well positioned in Southeast Asia. I think this is a great way to let's say, to take a competitive advantage versus the other countries in this region. And this is what we do at Schneider Electric. Our ambition, let's say, is to help Thailand to become a leading country when it comes to, again, digital transformation and sustainability. So this is our ambition for 2022, again, being the trusted partner, the trusted advisor for all the enterprise operating in Thailand in 2022 and in the years to come.
Yeah, thanks for your answer and for your contribution. So have you met with the high people in the government, Mr. Stefan? Have you ever met them?
We are engaging with them. You know, we are meeting some of them, especially next week. By the way, we are having a meeting or let's say an audience with the Ministry of Transportation to explain.
With the minister himself?
Yes, probably. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
That's nice.
Under the umbrella of the French embassy as well. So yes, this is something we do, you know, in order again to explain to all the decision makers, starting with government bodies as well, to explain how the industry, including Schneider Electric, can contribute to position Thailand as a leading country on sustainability and digitization. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. Because we Thai people have quite an expectations for Thailand economics next year. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Charas. And you, Mr. Stefan? Anything else?
Thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity, for this very good discussion. And I fully concur to what Mr. Charas was saying. I mean, plenty of opportunities. And I think it's really up to us at Schneider Electric, but also the business community, the press community as well, to evangelize the market and to explain to all the business stakeholders that yes, those opportunities are existing. Yes, Thailand is full of great potential, and let's make it happen all together in 2022 in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contributions and hope to see you again. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you ขอบคุณครับสวัสดีครับ
ครับและนี่ก็คือ 2 ผู้บริหารจาก 2 องค์กรใหญ่ที่เรารู้จักกันดีนะครับ Schneider Electric แล้วก็ DTAC ซึ่งก็เป็นประเด็นเรื่องของการเปิดบริษัทใหม่ควบรวมอะไรก็ว่ากันไปจะเห็นว่าทั้ง 2 องค์กรใหญ่มีแผนสำหรับปีหน้ามีกลยุทธ์ที่วางไว้และเกี่ยวข้องในการช่วยผลักดันเศรษฐกิจของไทยยังไงซะเราก็หนีไม่พ้นเรื่องของ Digital Transformation หนีไม่พ้นเรื่องของอุตสาหกรรมที่จะเกี่ยวกับพลังงานสะอาดเพราะว่าทั้งหมดไทยแลนด์เราก็เป็นเรื่องของ BCG นะครับ Bio Circular Green Economy อยู่แล้วเรื่องเหล่านี้เราควรจะต้องผลักดันแล้วก็ทำให้สำเร็จเพราะว่าในอนาคตยังคงเต็มไปด้วยความผันผวนและก็ความไม่แน่นอนขอบคุณอีกครั้งนะครับคุณชารัตน์เมรตราประธานเจ้าที่บริหารบมจ. Total Access Communication หรือว่า DTAC แล้วก็คุณสเตฟานนูสประธานกลุ่มคลัสเตอร์ดูแลประเทศไทยสปป.ลาวแล้วก็เมียนมาจาก Schneider Electric และวันนี้ครับก็หมดเวลาของผมแล้วก็การสัมมนาออนไลน์กับ35 ปีกรุงเทพธุรกิจ Thailand Economic Outlook 2022 มองอนาคตเศรษฐกิจไทยแล้วต้องขอบคุณนะครับขอบคุณผู้สนับสนุนใจดีที่ทำให้เกิดงานในวันนี้กับหนังสือพิมพ์กรุงเทพธุรกิจครับไม่ว่าจะเป็น TMB ธนชาติบริษัท Total Access Communication จำกัดมหาชนหรือว่า DTAC บริษัทสิงห์เอสเตทจำกัดมหาชนบริษัทปตท.จำกัดมหาชนไอคอนสยามธนาคารออมสินบริษัทปิดคัพแคปิตอลกรุ๊ปโฮลดิ้งจำกัดสิงห์คอร์ปอเรชั่นจำกัดบริษัทสื่อสากลจำกัดขอบพระคุณทุกท่านมากๆนะครับที่ให้การสนับสนุนเราแล้วก็ขอบพระคุณคุณผู้ชมที่น่ารักทุกคนที่แวะเวียนเข้ามาชมเพื่อฟังและก็ได้รับความรู้ไปแบ่งปันงานของเราในวันนี้อาจจะจบลงแต่งานอื่นๆยังมีอีกเยอะนะครับกลับมาพบกับทางกรุงเทพธุรกิจฐานเศรษฐกิจและก็ผมได้ใหม่ในงาน 5G Thailand Big Move เร็วมากวันพฤหัสบดีนี้ครับ2 ธันวาคมเราเจอกัน 8:30 เป็นต้นไปนะครับงานนี้เราจะได้เห็นก้าวที่ยิ่งใหญ่ของไทยในการพัฒนาประเทศสู่เศรษฐกิจดิจิทัลในทุกมิติเห็นไหมครับหน้าคนซ้ายมาแล้วครับในงานภาคนโยบายเราจะได้ฟังนโยบายด้านดิจิทัลของประเทศจากพลเอกประวิตรวงษ์สุวรรณรองนายกรัฐมนตรีคุณชัยวุฒนาคมานุสรณ์รัฐมนตรีว่าการกระทรวง DES นะครับบุคคลจากกลุ่มกสทช.กลุ่มโอเปอเรเตอร์ยกทัพมาทุกค่ายครับ DTAC True AIS แล้วก็ด้านผู้พัฒนาเทคโนโลยีและวางระบบ 5G ระดับโลกที่ทุกคนรู้จักอย่างหัวเว่ย Used Car ด้านการแพทย์ก็มีตัวแทนจากโรงพยาบาล Prince มาด้วยย้ำนะครับเราพบกันวันที่2 ธันวาคม 8 โมงครึ่งเป็นต้นไปที่โรงแรมสยามเคมปินสกี้หรือใครที่สะดวกรับชมผ่านช่องทางออนไลน์ของกรุงเทพธุรกิจฐานเศรษฐกิจและ Spring News ท่านสามารถลงทะเบียนได้ครับถ้าสนใจ QR Code ขึ้นที่หน้าจอแล้วนะครับสแกน QR Code ไว้เลยแล้วก็เจอกันวันงานวันพฤหัสบดีที่ 2 ที่จะถึงนี้สำหรับวันนี้ผมตะพิภูลนะครับในฐานะตัวแทนของหนังสือพิมพ์กรุงเทพธุรกิจและทีมงานคงต้องลาไปก่อนขอบพระคุณทุกท่านอีกครั้งจากใจรักษาสุขภาพด้วยจนกว่าจะพบกันใหม่สวัสดีครับ